Hi, everyone. I am Bill Kress, and I am with Kress Communications. I've had the great honor and opportunity to represent a number of amazing clients over the years. Um, and I honestly got to say that Georgina may be one of the, if not the most amazing, certainly one of my longest term uh, uh, clients. We're here today because Georgina, and I'm going to introduce you in a moment after the camera gets off my face and I stop talking. Georgina has written a book. It's a memoir that began when she was, it tracks her life from the age of 11 until 16 years old, I believe. And it's really quite an amazing story about a young woman who started out in the world of dance and then suffered a terrible disease, which was they worked on and cured, but in the process, she pivoted over to the beauty pageant world, and and she did so just like a meteor. It's really an amazing story. And then there's some stuff that happened after she hit it big, and we're going to talk about that as well as what she talks about in the book. This book is available on Amazon, and we're going to turn it over to Georgina. I'm sorry, there's a Georgia here on staff.
Oh
Georgina
my gosh.
and Georgina Marie Paez Munoz. I have to look at the cheat sheet because I just call you Georgina. Hi, Georgina.
Hi.
Hi, how
It's
are
great
you?
seeing you. I'm good. I'm
Good, good,
good.
good. You're from Kendall.
I grew up in Miami.
You say Miami because
Yeah,
nobody, well, outside of,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. But now you reside in Hollywood.
I do. I moved there when I was like 13.
Yeah,
So going from there and then coming back to Miami's because I go to the University of
you
Miami.
do. You just started.
I did. And just being back in Miami is so like heartwarming
Yeah,
because I'm back where I grew up.
yeah, yeah. Now we're going to get to the book, and I want to just show you here. This is Georgina's book, and it took you a couple of years to write.
Yes, I started writing when I was 16, and it just goes with my journey from when I was at the age of 11 to the now when I'm 18.
Right.
So going through that, and I started at 16, and then at 17, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna rewrite this whole thing. So the entirety of 2024, I wrote the entire book all over again.
And it's called From Ballerina to Beauty Queen.
Yes,
Now, what's
I already had that book title set up when I was 16.
yeah,
I knew what I wanted to do, and I just wanted to send that message to younger girls and even just generally people that no matter what situation you do go through, in my case, a back surgery,
yeah,
then you can go out of that and there is a light at the end of the tunnel at the end of the day.
yeah, and and you, the light is you. It's quite amazing. Now, why don't you tell us why you needed to step out of the world of dance? You said that you had back surgery. The
I
disease
did.
is very difficult for me to pronounce.
It was called high grade spondylolisthesis. I was just coming off of a huge nationals win from San Antonio, Texas, where
Yeah,
I was with my dance team. We got the national junior grand championship, and I was super happy. But during that time, also I was getting bullied. It was just a lot when it came to favoritism, and
yeah,
obviously that's normal in the dance world. But after that, I started like my legs started sleeping easily. My back would hurt a lot. It would be practically killing me.
yeah.
And then we went to multiple doctors. They said, "Oh, it's probably scoliosis, and that's normal." But we went to a
Which
spinal
isn't
surgeon.
on its own,
It
but
is. And I went to Dr. George. He's at Nicklaus Children's Hospital. Love him. And he told me it was high grade spondylolisthesis. And if I didn't get that surgery immediately, I would be at risk of paralysis.
okay. And so you did,
I did have that
and it was
surgery.
very frightening, and you knew that there could have been complications, certainly a long recovery time. But what you didn't expect is that it would probably take you out of the dance world.
I did not expect that. My doctor told me, like, after my surgery and at the end of my time there at the hospital, he's like, "Oh, I'll see you in 3 months." So naturally, I expected, okay, I'm going to be great. It's just in time for competition season. I'll be fine. So three
Yeah,
months later in November, when he told me you can't dance until after a year has passed,
yeah,
I spiraled.
yeah,
I went into a deep depression period. And
wow,
even in the book, I do discuss, like, how low my mental health got.
yeah,
And that's just in the book. and it was really heartbreaking. It was horrible going from dancing for my entire life since I was 2 until the age of 11
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
going to what's next. So after that, actually a month later, actually
Well,
wait,
first I want to back up because I don't remember the period, and I was working with you and
you
your
were
mother when you went into this deep depression. You must have been hiding it
I
well.
was.
Yeah.
I decided to put a brave face on, but in private, I was destroyed.
Yeah.
And even to the point where I was like crying and sobbing, telling my mom, like, I have no purpose in life. If I don't have dance, I have nothing. Like,
And
I
for a
have
young
nothing to
person
live
to say
for.
that, oh my God, no.
I was just having a conversation with my mom, and she's like, don't ever say that again. And she's like, why don't you try modeling? And I was like, you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
So then it went into being in the modeling world, and I skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And I went to places I would never dreamed of.
So it started with modeling,
Yes.
and then you just, as I said, skyrocketed into the pageant world.
I did.
But there was also an offshoot where you appeared in a couple of movies. We can talk about these separately.
Yeah.
But again, I just want to keep bringing it back to the book because through this whole period of cascading successes, and you'll share with us, I hope, some details, there was also resentment among family, but mostly friends, and
Yeah.
and that hurt you deeply as well. And I just want to get to the core of why you believe that happened to you, and because it is such a core part of the book. I mean, you tell the story, but there's a lot of, well, I just want to say I don't want to say it's resentment in there, but you're venting, and there was some rage. I think you even used the word rage at one
Yes.
point. So you're working through it.
I am working through it. Even now, I'm still like trying
Yeah.
to preface this by I'm like, how did this happen to me?
Yeah.
I went to a private school for 10 years since VBK up until 7th grade.
Yeah.
And I was just coming off of nationals. I was in a music video and all of that. So I was really happy. But it was really the only thing I could talk about, being that dance was like out of the options.
Right.
And when I started talking about it, like people would bully me. And mind you, in 6th grade, I wasn't there the entire year. So going into 7th grade, I expected people to be happy for me and respectful. That was a lie.
Yeah.
So it was just really hard for me to cope with the fact that people I've known for 10 years started being extremely rude to me. My ex-best friend now like actually just betrayed me completely. She would be talking about me in the group chat, saying how she didn't care if she was my friend or not, and all of that. And considering the fact that I did a lot for her and that we were friends, and then for her to say like, oh, I helped her out when she was getting bullied hardcore, so I guess I am. So that was really heartbreaking to see. And mind you, in 7th grade, it started literally at the beginning of the year where I was being bullied. So it just got progressively worse and worse. So I left early, like March.
School.
I left the school, and I would have never expected that because these people were practically my second home, my family. So going through that, even the principal and the administration was like telling my mom, she has no one here. She's alone. Just take her out.
Yeah.
So to hear them say that and knowing them, like for them to not do anything about it, it was really like hurtful. And I guess people told me to get over it super quickly. People are like, get over it. It's fine. You got out of it. It's so hard for me to process. Even now, it's because it rooted from jealousy from what I was going through. And that's what I believe happened. It rooted from jealousy, and then it just got progressively worse.
Yeah.
So I had to leave.
The problem is you're beautiful.
Thank you.
You're poised. You're intelligent, by the way. You're on a full scholarship at University of Miami right now as a freshman. You have a good sense of community spirit. You're all of these things. Why do they say it's all gone to her head?
I genuinely don't know.
Yeah.
Even to this day,
But you said jealousy.
Yes, it was jealousy primarily because I believe I was talking about it a lot. Mind you, I had just come out of nationals. I won
tell us what you won.
Title.
I mean, you won some big stuff, and as a Cuban American too, some first time
history making. Yes. So I went from December, literally 2017, a month after I found out from the doctor, and I got UNM South Florida. And I did not expect that at all. I would see these girls in long train dresses, and here I am with a knockoff dress.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And then going into states, I was super nervous. I felt like an outcast just because I was competing against girls that have been doing this for like 10 years.
Yeah.
So surprisingly, I got like a perfect score in interview. My coach, Dailene, who I adore, she's like a second mom to me. She was a really huge support system, and her daughter too. So going to the States, and then I ended up winning the Suncoast title, which was the secondary title to Florida. But it was another option to go to nationals. So I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. All from nothing.
All from nothing. And going, and even then
from an idea, a germ of an idea that your mother posed.
Yes. And even then I wore like a knockoff dress of like a Sherry Hill. And my friend had the real Sherry Hill.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm screwed.
No,
and then
I have no idea what a Sherry Hill is, but it sounds...
It's like a pageant dress company.
Okay.
So going after that and going into nationals, I was there for a week.
Yeah.
And no, that wasn't even a year into recovery. So I was like, what's going on? How am I going to do this? And it was months preparation, dieting, weight loss, like all of that. And I never expected to do that. And even in constant practicing. So going to nationals, getting top 15, like that's an honor in its own right.
Yeah.
And then even winning the role model title, which wasn't optional, but still winning that. And also I actually won an award where I have my entire story, well, from when I was 12, in a book written by a director.
Oh, yeah.
I was like super excited about that. I'm like, what? And then after that was 7th grade. Okay.
And that's when some of the hell began.
Yeah, it was hell for me.
And that's what's captured in this book. And it isn't, you're not trying to just vent and get back at people at all. I mean, the purpose is, well, you were alone through a lot of this, and how someone alone was able to process all of this and move beyond. And a lot of that had to do with the cathartic exercise of writing this book. It's in here. And the book, I think, as a result, is your target audience. I mean, it says from ballerina to beauty queen, so obviously young women in those different fields will be interested in this book. But it's about resilience, it's about pivoting, and it's about acceptance, and it's about moving on, having the strength to move on as you did.
Yeah, and also like it helped me cope with everything. Like writing this book, I was like, even at some moments, I was like thinking back at what happened and I would get angry about it.
Yeah.
So writing this book was like closure to me in a way. It's like, I'm writing all of this. I get to tell people my story and I get to inspire them, because that's the point of the book. It's not resentment. It's not hate. It's not like, screw you for doing this to me. It's like, I mean, yes, screw you, but thank you for getting me out of this. And thank you for making me a better human.
And stronger.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it brought you right here.
Yep.
Yeah. I want to just quickly talk about your mom for a minute. I just believe you're a beautiful spirit, and you have this sense of you're going to trust people until you can't trust them. And a lot of other people say, I'm not going to trust them until I can. I think your mom told me that once. You're on two divergent ends of this scale. You are very trusting, loving, and giving. And I think that's why you were hurt so badly.
Yeah.
Your mom is this. She's a backbone.
She's stoic. She's like, I can't trust people until I'm able to trust them. And I understand her point of view.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I'm so nice to people, like even overly nice to the point where I don't even have boundaries. Yeah. And I'm still learning that now. So my mom is like a huge inspiration to me, and I adore her with my heart and soul.
Yeah.
Like her and I are like this. Like we've never separated my entire life. Like my dad left when I was 3, and it's just been her and I my entire life.
Yeah.
So being able to be her like best friend, she's my rock. I adore her. And even then, during my high school career, she had many health issues, and she almost died on like 3 different occasions. Yeah. So going through that, like in my entire high school career, it was really hard for me. But at the end of the day, it was just us together, and me being able to take care of her, and like for her to be going through that and being able to get past it. It's like a source of strength for me.
And how strangely parallel to what you went through.
Yes.
And now she is, and you're there to support her when she was there to support you. Yeah.
Absolutely. And even then, like my high school career, I was terrified. I'm like, I can't lose my mom.
Oh God.
Like I would be destroyed. Yeah. I don't even know if I don't know where I would be. Yeah. But she's such a source of inspiration, and I adore her with my whole heart and soul. And even then, like her parents, like my grandfather passed away in 2022. My grandma passed away when my mom was only 8 years old. So I know they're definitely proud of her, and especially like my grandfather.
Yeah. So she has a story. Okay.
Yes, of course.
Um, I I, I want to just change gears here for a little bit because you went from having this serious back surgery. There must have been pain while you were training, or
Yes.
did you have to endure more pain than I think anyone your age and at your level in the pageant world? I mean, you've got to. There's coaches for everything. There were coaches for walking. There were coaches for public speaking, right? You
Yeah.
had makeup. You had dress. I mean, it's rigorous. This isn't for
It
the
is very
faint-hearted. And how
rigorous.
did you get through that? Was it?
I think it just took practice for me to be able to
Yeah,
get through that. I
yeah,
mean, my first pageant, I almost passed out because I was in heels for
yeah.
hours. The pageant was delayed 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I literally almost passed out. But going through that practicing in heels every day, like going to states, I practiced every single day for like an hour,
Yeah.
and I would walk in heels. And it would hurt like hell.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like I still got past it. Like now I walk in like 6-inch heels, surprisingly.
I've
And
seen the videos. In fact, we've got a few here
oh my gosh.
that show that you're not this one. This must be like
That was a huge moment for me.
yeah,
That's when I like had such
when you were
success,
3
and
feet
even
tall.
3 feet tall is crazy. But after that win, that's when it plummeted.
That's when it kind of started.
And then right there, I was genuinely shocked. I was like, how did I win? And that was my first pageant win ever.
Yeah,
That dress is still with me to this day. I have it in storage.
yeah.
Oh my
And
gosh, it was tiny.
that was in Orlando, right?
Melbourne.
Oh, that's right, in Melbourne.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I still remember this like it was yesterday. Like
Yeah.
I was so happy. I had no idea, and that
And this
my
is a billboard
that was like I think my first
in
time in
Times
Fashion
Square.
Week. Yes, it
Get the
was in
hell
Times
out.
Square.
Yeah.
That I still remember these things like it was yesterday. Like I have such good memory.
You are
Oh my
just
gosh.
stunning. Yep,
I
there's the
slayed.
walk. Now we can't walk here.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you to show me how I can walk down the runway. Like I'm ever going to put that into
Oh my
action.
gosh.
But there, I mean, every step of this.
Yes.
Um,
And actually at that pageant, the World Imperial Beauties pageant, I made history by being like one of the first Cuban Americans, if
Yeah.
not the first Cuban
That's a
American,
big part of the story too, or
to
your story. Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
And I remember that moment. I was so happy. It was my first national title. I held it for 2 years, also making history as the longest reigning queen, thanks to COVID. So thank you.
Oh, yikes.
I know. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah. I want to. Well, I got a couple of things. I was getting ready for this interview, and I came across some really amazing quotes from I don't know, maybe Aristotle was one of them, and I don't mean to hold up our discussion right now, but I think you might be able to relate to a couple of things about resentment and jealousy, and when you're rising above. Here's one, Aristotle. Yeah. There is only one way to avoid criticism: do nothing, say nothing, and be nothing.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I totally relate to that. 'Cause
Yes,
it's like
I
in
bet.
7th grade, I felt like a nobody, but getting past that, I
Yeah.
was like, I did really nothing. I kept my mouth shut. And that's why I felt like this book was closure, because
Yeah.
I felt like I couldn't talk about it. But in the book, I believe the last part of the poem that I put in before 7th grade was a scorned woman with eternal rage.
Mm.
That's how I felt in
That's some
7th
tough
grade.
stuff. Those are
And I
tough
wrote
words.
it in a perspective view where it's like each chapter is how I felt at that moment.
Yes, as a younger woman.
Exactly.
Which again, this book doesn't have to just apply to ballerinas and beauty queens, obviously, but to anyone that's going
Exactly.
through an issue that you did. I mean, the disease that I can't pronounce that required serious spinal surgery, and then moving into this new field and excelling and then facing the resentments that you did. Anyone can relate to those things, especially young teenagers, young adults, and that's who your target
audience.
Yeah.
That's my niche, and
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
And I just want people to know, like, whatever you're going through, regardless if you're a dancer and you had a surgery, if you're a pageant queen and you went through bullying, like, generally it's for people who have gone through tough situations that have changed them forever, and to get past that.
I'm looking at a couple of more of these things. Here's one. Oh, you're gonna love this one. And it's written by unknown. I don't know who that is. Don't worry about those who talk behind your back. They're behind you for a reason.
Oh my gosh,
Isn't that wonderful?
that is wonderful.
Yeah.
I really relate to that.
Right. So anyhow, you can't show me how to walk down the runway, but let's get up.
Oh,
I know, and you can't probably see our legs, but
my gosh.
well, and look, if we're having our picture taken, now
my
here
gosh.
I've got this pot belly, and how do you pose? I mean, that's gotta be, do they teach you how to pose?
Yeah, my coach Eileen, she told me how to pose, she told me how to walk and all of that.
That's
So
crazy.
thanks to her.
Oh my God, and look at me, I look like Michael Moore, you know? And if I could just say for a moment, I had to wear this hat because I had some stuff taken off of my scalp
I
yesterday.
remember.
Yeah, and so I've got this crazy looking, it's not about me, but I have a bandage up there, so I'm wearing the Michael Moore hat from Coconut Grove. Anyhow, back to
Yes,
teach me
posing.
how
Okay.
to pose.
So
What do you do?
how Eileen
This is the camera. Where's the camera?
Okay.
This guy. All right.
So how Eileen taught me is, okay, put your back foot like this.
Okay, we are
and
making
then-
like a little T.
Yes, a T.
with
That's
our-
exactly how it
Oh,
is.
All right,
So-
I'm a good quick study.
You are.
Yay.
Okay, so it's like this, and then like for example, you have your hand on your hip,
Oh,
and
I don't
then
know about this.
that's how you start walking, and then you walk from there.
And you walk from there. But if you're
Exactly.
posing for a photo, it also helps because
Yeah, it's like
what's
for
it doing?
example, if you have like a wall, I need like put your arm like this. You're gonna be my wall.
Okay.
So it'd be like this or like this,
Oh, there you go.
and just some stuff like that.
If I
But
do something like that, people are going to
generally, the T position is how people do pageants, and then
Yeah.
I do my turns, but I'm wearing sneakers, so I can't do that.
with a nice slick base of a
Lovely.
normally a shoe. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but like doing turns, I honestly haven't done that in forever. So I kind of like I'm so rusty with it because I would practice constantly, and now I'm
Well,
like,
and that there again, there's so many levels of this. It seems crazy to me,
it
but
is.
it's a huge industry.
Oh, it's absolutely
Yeah.
a huge industry, especially now getting bigger because now there's Miss Universe Cuba. There's like over 100 countries competing in Miss Universe this year actually.
So, well, yeah. Again, geez, boy, I'm out of breath from just posing. That's craziness. So, where do you get a hold of the book?
So it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
It's currently $13. You can get it on Amazon.
Okay.
It's 118 pages. So honestly, it's a quick read if you think
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
But I generally detail it very much with what I've gone through and all of just generally my entire life from the age of 11 to 18. So pretty much like my entire teenage years, I don't even know how to say it, but it's throughout my entire life
Yeah.
that I went through that. So I just wanted to like write it and be able to show that to people. Like I remember getting the idea after my friend released a journal. So I was like, wait, it's that easy? Hello?
Yeah.
I don't need like a publishing company.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the process. How do you?
So I
Start
wrote
writing a
it
book.
on, I forgot the
Yeah.
what, I think it's Kindle Direct Publishing.
Yeah.
And they do like physical copies. So I was like, bet. So I like designed my cover on Canva and I was like, okay, let me actually do this. So that's why I say like I started at 16 and I finished it at 17. Wait. Yeah, I finished it at 17.
And you are now
18.
18. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Your entire life. I get it. That's
really it is my entire
I
life.
know, but
In
I'm
the
laughing
last
because your
chapter,
entire life.
I do discuss like
Yeah.
ever since nationals and when I won World Imperial,
Yeah.
it's just went straight from there. Like about my grandpa's passing, my experience in high school, my mom's health situation, and just where I am at now. Like I'm in my dream college, and I got deferred early decision 1, so I was like so sad about it. But going into March, I was like, okay, what's my decision?
Yeah.
And then turns out I got accepted for spring of 2025, and even financial aid reaching out to me and saying I have like a full ride practically.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's complete full ride where I don't have to pay for anything because I
Right.
still have to pay for my semesters, but compared to like how much you usually pay, which is like 40 grand,
Yeah.
it's like 200 typically. Yeah. So
Yeah. Yes, I got you. Right.
so it's just being like able to do that and having, I guess, that easy access.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like to talk about it just
Yeah,
because it's
because you're
like
humble. Yeah,
exactly. I don't want to talk about finances like that because then it
yeah.
makes people think like, oh my gosh, she's spoiled and all of this, which I'm
And you've
not.
had enough of that.
I've had enough.
Yeah,
I went
right,
through that too
right.
much, especially like in middle
So
school.
is it a relief? I mean, what are you doing now? I mean, you keep saying, and I was laughing about your entire life as someone in their 60s, and you're saying my entire life, and you're only 18. You've got an entire life ahead of you. In fact, you got a couple if you do the
Yes.
math. And I'd like to know if this is your first book, or is there going to be a second book? What do you think would be the follow up? Where are you going? You took a break from all of this glitz and
Yes,
glamour.
I wanted
You're
to take a
focusing
break.
on education. What's your major?
Media management. So it's like the
Okay.
business side of media. I'm
Yeah.
currently taking communications classes, and actually, I'm like a huge Swiftie, so I'm taking a Taylor Swift class
Oh
next
my God.
semester.
A class on Taylor Swift?
Technically, it's strategic communication, so it still
Okay.
aligns with my major,
Yeah.
but it's about Taylor Swift, and I love her.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just that and being
But
able
where's
to
it all
be in the
going to
media
go? Yeah.
industry.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
writing
you
another
think
book
you might
for.
move into, you could be a TV
Yeah, I might.
broadcaster or a host.
I'm potentially. I still am kind of figuring that out. Minoring in broadcast journalism.
Yeah.
I actually refounded, and was the president of the broadcast club in my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
So being able to do that and plant those seeds for it to succeed in the future, I'm really excited about that. So I wanted to be in the media industry, potentially like doing media for like something in the beauty industry because I know it like the back of my head.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just doing that. And I am not writing another book for a couple of years. I need a
You
break.
need a break.
I
Yeah.
need a break. I need to focus on college.
But there might be one. I
Oh,
mean, there's many more
definitely.
stories to tell, and you don't even know if they're going to be yet.
Exactly.
But I suspect they're going to be amazing. Um, so, do you plan to stay here in Florida?
Oh, for sure. I'm
Yeah,
not leaving
yeah,
Miami.
yes.
In fact, I am planning on my mom and I are planning to move down here potentially in the fall or back down from Hollywood.
Where you are.
And as much as I loved it there, as much as I loved my high school experience, especially in my junior and senior year, going into public school and being able to make that relationship with the administration and make friends that I will last a lifetime with. So being able to do that was very exciting. But at the end of the day, Miami's my home.
Yeah.
Miami feels like home to me.
So here comes this stupid elevator speech thing. How would you describe this book in an elevator speech quickly?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Definitely
Like the purpose. Yeah.
Definitely purposeful in resilience, in identity shift, and being able to persevere.
Yeah. Yeah. At such a young age.
Exactly. At such a young age, I've gone through many identity evolutions in a way.
Yeah.
Going from a dancer to a beauty queen, it's a huge shift.
Yeah.
So it's like completely opposite in a way. Like there's still competitions, there's still preparation, but it's completely different from dancing to walking in 4, 5, 6-inch heels for like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Well, and whether your heels are real or figurative, people that are, going through life and pursuing their dreams and their struggles along the way.
There are struggles along the way, and that's
what
definitely
I got out of this book.
That's definitely going to be inevitable. Like you're going to go through things in your life that you see are like hell on earth, but you're going to get past that at the end of the day, and you have a whole life's journey ahead of you.
Sure you do. Yeah. And you're giving back. I just want to touch on, do you do anything with regard to the disease that you had or community work?
I am an advocate for that, and I'm an advocate for breast cancer because my grandma passed away of that. I'm an advocate for spinal disorders because I went through that, and I advocate for premature children because I was born at 26 weeks.
Yeah.
And my mom can tell you by memory.
Okay.
But
we got to bring her on next.
We do have to bring her on for sure.
Yeah.
And I know she'd love to do it, but I'm an advocate for anti-bullying, and I did do a lot of community service. Like I went to the Ronald McDonald House, I believe 3 times, and I was a title holder. Like I don't do stuff now, obviously, because I'm not a title holder.
Right.
But definitely, like when I do compete in pageants again, I'm aiming for next year in the summer.
You are.
I am. I want to get back to it so badly, but I do want to like get used to college first before I even think of doing that again.
And you're living on campus. You are
exactly.
Well, I just want to again let everybody know that from Ballerina to Beauty Queen, it's available on Amazon, and it's a story. It's a page turner. It's a quick read, but it's important, and especially for young people. it just took me back to some of the struggles you had when you're so young and so sensitive, and rejection hurts and whatnot. It's all here,
I
um,
remember,
but it made
like,
you stronger.
yeah, it
That's the
definitely made me
message, right?
stronger. And like some points after I released the book, people would text me like, "I'm so proud of you." And this one girl, I have no
Yeah.
idea who she is. I've never met her. I think she's a friend of my friend, but she texted me saying, "You have no idea how much I identify with this book,
Mm,
and I absolutely love it, and I absolutely love you. You're such an inspiration." So like that made me like tear up because it's
that's
like
it.
never expected that.
That's it.
So like being able to get that message and being able to know like people do identify with this, it's like very heartwarming.
Yeah. And there you are sitting like a perfect lady. I'm going to have to
Thank
take,
you.
well, not that I want to be a perfect lady, but everything. It's been a delight. And I'm so proud of you,
Oh,
and
thank
to
you.
have been able to share, a part of your life with me. It's just
Exactly.
been really, really amazing. And it's amazing to read about it and hear there's things I learned about you that I didn't know. And everyone else is going to have a chance to do the same. Thank you so much.
Oh, of course, thank
Yes.
you.
Yes, yes. And thank you all for tuning in. And I'm Bill Kress, Georgina Paez, and take care.